Lots of you have been requesting the subject of this week's episode in the comments, and you can thank Patreon supporter Stephen Walker Florgo for sponsoring it and making it a reality. These are the spot-on smooth basics on CHEETOR. CHEETOR debuted as part of the first year of the Beast Wars toy line in 1996. A member of the heroic Maximals, he transformed into a cheetah, if you couldn't tell from the name, and was described by the bio on the toy's packaging as a quiet, confident jungle warrior. This early characterization, however, was thrown out by the Beast Wars animated series, which reinvented CHEETOR as the archetypical overeager young kid. Impulsive, cocky, and determined to prove himself to his often exasperated commander Optimus Primal, as he and his fellow Maximals battled their enemies, the evil Predacons, on prehistoric Earth. CHEETOR's impetuous nature was the subject of several of the earliest episodes of the series, as his desire to prove that he wasn't just a kid led him to blunder his way into trouble over and over, whether it was winding up a prisoner in the webs of Tarantulas, or trapped in the Predacon base. But despite these humbling lessons, CHEETOR's enthusiastic attitude could never be kept down for long, expressed most famously in catchphrases like
"Jumping gyros"
and
"Ultra gear,"
delivered by voice actor Ian James Corlett. In the show's second season, exposure to a quantum surge of alien energy upgraded CHEETOR into the form of his new 1998 Transmetal action figure, which added flight jets to his beast mode. Later, he would develop a crush on the Predacon Black Arachnia, which would only cause conflict and complications when Black Arachnia joined the Maximals in the show's third season. This season saw CHEETOR change once more, when, after rushing into action like always, he found himself caught in a Predacon experiment with alien technology, and was further mutated into his monstrous new 1999 Transmetal 2 toy form. But the transformation wasn't just physical. After conquering the feral impulses of his new beast mode, CHEETOR came away from the experience with a new, more mature personality, having gone from light-hearted kid to cooler, edgier teenager. The story of CHEETOR's maturation continued into the sequel series Beast Machines, in which he and the other Maximals returned to Cybertron to liberate it from the clutches of Megatron. The Maximals were reformatted by the Oracle supercomputer into techno-organic bodies. Beast flesh and transformer metal fused at the cellular level. But when Optimus came to trust in the computer too much, blindly following its every instruction without question, the older, angrier, more short-tempered CHEETOR, already frustrated that Primal still treated him like a kid, came to doubt his leader's ability to lead, and even found himself having to forcibly take command away from the compromised Primal, until Optimus saw the error of his ways and vowed to treat CHEETOR with more respect. CHEETOR was something of the figurehead of the Beast Machines toy line. His face adorned the packaging of every toy in the first year of the line, in place of the usual individualized artwork that Transformers toys normally had. And he received both a regular-sized figure and a huge Supreme-size one. Sadly, an infamously terrible toy, but one that remains one of the largest Transformers figures ever made. A third figure, the stealth-armored Night/Slash CHEETOR, was released later in the line, but CHEETOR never adopted this form in the animated series. Instead, the Beast Machines cartoon concluded with Optimus sacrificing his life to free Cybertron and passing on his connection to the Oracle to CHEETOR, leaving him to lead the Maximals in this new age of peace. The tale of this new age was told in stories from BotCon, the official Transformers convention, published in conjunction with 2003's Transformers Universe toy line, which included a recolor of CHEETOR's Night/Slash toy. BotCon stories followed CHEETOR as he used his link to the Oracle to help thwart the schemes of Predacon gangster Cryotech, and later joined in the cross-dimensional war against Unicron. Other toys and comics from BotCon over the years would showcase a younger CHEETOR in his Cybertronian form from before the Maximals left Cybertron, and a much older, wiser Cheetor from centuries in the future, who had mastered his connection to the Oracle and grown to become Cybertron's spiritual leader as the sage Alpha Trizer. CHEETOR was the first Beast Wars character to be reimagined for inclusion in a different Transformers series when, in 2002, he was one of the first releases in Playschool's line of Transformers GoBots preschool toys. The next year, a Transformers Armada incarnation of CHEETOR was introduced, a recolor of the Beast Wars Transmetal toy, who was characterized as a smug, arrogant, thrill-seeking super spy, partnered with the withdrawn Minicon scientist Cliffjumper. The Armada comic book told how CHEETOR and several other recolored Beast Wars characters from the Armada line were abducted and enslaved by Unicron, transformed into his 4 horsemen, with CHEETOR becoming Pestilence. Now, before Armada came on the scene, there had initially been plans to feature the original CHEETOR in a Beast Machine sequel titled TransTech. A new design was created for the character with a vehicle mode, and a toy even made it to the prototype stage, but the series would ultimately be scrapped in favour of Armada. However, in 2008, never once to leave a stone unturned, the Transformers Collectors Club revived the concept, reinventing TransTech as its own unique universe, unconnected to the Beast era. In this world, CHEETOR was the cynical but good-hearted chief of security for the multiversal hub city of Axiom Nexus on a highly evolved Cybertron. Though the TransTech toy was never produced, its design did serve as partial inspiration for the Transformers animated incarnation of Blur. Thus, it was only fitting that in 2011, the Collectors Club would retool and recolor the Blur toy to create an animated version of CHEETOR. Something of a mashup of the original and the TransTech characters, animated CHEETOR was an impulsive young rookie cop who worked with grizzled partner Sideswipe to stop the Stunticons from breaking Megatron out of jail. Other notable versions of CHEETOR have appeared in the Transformers Legends gag manga, in which he was an irresponsible young salaryman who loved to drink and party all night. In IDW Publishing's comic books, which depicted him as the leader of the Furwalker tribe of mammalian beast transformers on the Cybertronian colony planet of Eucharis. And in the Collectors Club's Beast Wars Uprising, a dystopian world in which CHEETOR was the leader of a rebellion against the oppressive Autobots and Decepticons. Taken together with appearances in several mobile games, and the various other toys that there have been of him in several different lines, including even the high-end collector-targeted Masterpiece series, these numerous different incarnations of CHEETOR combine to make him one of the most frequently appearing Beast Wars characters in the 21st century, even though he hasn't appeared on television since Beast Machines. That, however, is due to change later this year, when CHEETOR returns to our screens in the Transformers Cyberverse cartoon. In this series, he serves as the mysterious guardian of the Allspark on Earth, who provides Optimus Prime and Megatron with their new Spark Armor power-ups. We haven't seen it yet, but a Spark Armor CHEETOR action figure is also reportedly due in the Cyberverse toy line. Standing alongside classic characters like Bumblebee, Hot Rod, and Hotshot as one of the great representatives of the Transformers trope of kid-friendly young bots who mature into leadership, we've seen CHEETOR grow from impetuous cub to serious commander to spiritual sentinel over the last nearly 25 years. They say a leopard can't change its spots, but a CHEETOR is another story. And those are the basics on CHEETOR. Thanks to Steven for sponsoring this episode. Which is your favourite version of CHEETOR? Share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you're in a position to, please consider supporting the basics on Patreon.